There have been more than 100 altars placed to remember those who have passed but are never forgotten. El ballet folclórico de CSUN empezó en 1960 y ha sido uno de los grupos más activos en el campus. Hemos hablado con algunos de los integrantes. All the funds raised today will go towards improving the resources, research, and special programs needed to improve the lives of those impacted by autism. Romeo Lacoste was able to fulfill his California dream with a little bit of determination and passion. It could also make it harder for her to forget her everyday economic struggles. In law enforcement, there is no one for them to turn to when facing suicide. Police Service Representative Majors of the Los Angeles Police Topanga Division says when her husband committed suicide 4 years ago, she wanted to create a pin to ensure those who have committed suicide are still honored within the department.
When you lose someone to suicide, there's an honor band of colors. So if you do walks or just different things, like people wear the beads or the bracelets, and they each color stands for something. So silver is to honor first responders, military, and blue is for the cause. So once I saw that, I was like, oh, that would be kind of cool to make it more of an honor pin because they should still be honored.
However, there are multiple reasons why officers don't come ask for help.
Possibly more officers don't get help because they're afraid of repercussions or that they could get in trouble or, losing their guns.
In the September issue of The Blue Line, a newsletter for officers, it focused on Suicide Awareness Month. In it, featured an article written by Officer 36640 about how he overcame suicidal thoughts and how he thinks more officers hide their suicidal thoughts as well.
Functioning alcoholics, or is that such a thing? Because your wife pays the price, your kids pay the price, and it's just there's a fucking way out. And I figured it out.
The officer continues to say that he believes many of these suicidal problems officers face begin before an officer even picks up a badge or puts on a uniform.
I think a lot of problems with officers existed way before they got on the job. That's what I've seen. The job exaggerates those issues.
As far as why he feels he needs to start sharing his story with others.
So this is no longer about me. This is about helping the next guy.
I'm Sydney Gamino in Northridge for Valley View News. Thousands gathered this weekend at the Rose Bowl for the 17th annual Autism Speaks Walk. The 5K helps people with autism and the families who support them. Cindy Manuel supports her son, Casey.
When we first came, it was just my husband and Casey, and we felt very alone, and it was very small at that time. And we decided we were going to be a team and not be sad about it and celebrate it. And that's what this does.
The event had many different activities. There were games for friends and family. It brings in new supporters every year, like Miriam Reyes.
It's kind of touching to see how many families are out here, how many groups, are combined to fight for this cause.
People created teams to help raise funds. Lisa Katz and her team raised more than $180,000 to help the autism community.
I think when he was first diagnosed, he was 2 years old, and you feel very helpless. And it felt like something we could do that was proactive and made us feel like we had a little more control over our situation and also do something good for a larger community.
All the funds raised today will go towards improving the resources, research, and special programs needed to improve the lives of those impacted by autism. Reporting from Pasadena for Valley View News, I'm Sydney Gamino. At a cemetery in Oxnard, hundreds of people gather to celebrate Dia de los Muertos, a holiday celebrated from October 31st to November 2nd. For Jaime Pina, he says it's a way to unite family together.
This is our second year, and we decided to invite everybody because I feel they should be part of it. They also want to come and experience this.
Families come from far and wide to honor loved ones who have passed through altars. Each altar has objects representing the loved one, such as food, photos, and flowers. However, this day is also a time for others to reflect and pray. For Ramon Reyes, who was part of the Archdiocese of Los Angeles, He says it gives people a time to reflect and know that faith is always on their side.
To remember that our loved ones that we still feel in our heart and our being and our feelings are still out there, and for us to be able to pray for them. So for our sons and our future, they will pray for us.
Here at the Santa Clara Cemetery, there have been more than 100 altars placed to remember those who have passed but are never forgotten, in a celebration that combines both faith and love. I'm Sydney Gamino in Oxnard for Valley View News. The Ballet Folklorico group at CSUN began in 1960 and has been one of the most active student groups on campus. We were able to talk to some of the current members of the team and learn why it's so important to keep the roots of this dance alive. Veamos, let's take a look. Can you tell me more about why it's so important that we take care of our planet and what kind of future we see if we don't?
Yeah, I think that it's really important that we educate our students and also our adults on what is going on in our environment and about climate change. And I think that because I do a lot of science education outreach, that I get a chance to do that a lot with people, and I'm particularly working a lot with teachers. So I'm helping them help their students learn about the environment and ways to engage their own students in becoming citizen scientists.
All right. And then I know that CSUN is hosting its own Earth Day event this Saturday. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so my students are presenting workshops, as I was sort of alluding to before, sorry. And they're doing hands-on science with the kids, and they're actually all going to be teachers in the future. So it's a way to practice teaching science and also getting the word out there about the importance of our planet.
And what are some other ways that CSUN students can help the environment every day?
I think just even doing little things like being more conscious of using plastics and how much you drive and leaving lights on. I mean, all of those little things add up if you start to really care for what's going on in our climate.
All right, well, thank you for joining me and happy Earth Day. Now back to you in the studio, Nick.